My name is Michael Dolan. I work as an ethics lawyer for the Law Institute of Victoria, and I've been in legal practice for many years. However, early in my career, I was a young litigation lawyer practicing in family law. And on one occasion, I recall that I missed a very important date in my diary. It was very busy in the office that morning, and I had phone calls coming to me all the time, and I simply overlooked the fact that I had an uncontested divorce listed for hearing in the Family Court of Australia at 10 a.m. I only realised at about 11 a.m. what had happened, so I walked very quickly across to the Family Court and spoke to the judge's associate, who told me that my case had been struck out for non-appearance. I then asked the associate if I could have it relisted for hearing later that day, and the associate spoke to the judge, who said yes, he was prepared to entertain an application, but I would have to wait until he had finished all the other matters. So at about 2 minutes to 2, His Honour called on my case, and I stood up, announced my appearance, apologised to the court and to His Honour for any inconvenience I had caused them, and applied to have the case reinstated. The judge did reinstate the case, and he granted my client's divorce. So my client didn't suffer at all, but I spent a very anxious 2 or 3 hours that morning, and the lesson that I really learnt was to make sure that you never forget when your cases are listed for hearing, and have appropriate systems in place to save you from the embarrassment which I suffered.
I'm Nerida Wallace. I'm the CEO of the Law Institute of Victoria, and you want to know about a difficult time that I've had in my career, which began in, I'm giving my age away, 1977. I'm just thinking back. One of the most difficult times was when I had to go and tell a minister of the Crown that some information that we had given him was incorrect. And this particular minister was famous for throwing pieces of paper across the room if they were wrong. And I was fairly young at the time, and it was going to be quite difficult. But there are a couple of rules in this situation. You must fess up. You must just go in and say, look, this has happened. But you must also say, and this is what I propose to do about it to make sure that the situation is improved. You'll probably get a response which is concerned, not very happy, but your job is to say, look, this is how we're going to resolve this, and this is what we'll do to sort it. Probably the risk is that that person will have no confidence in you because you've already mucked up, but at the same time they will respect you for having the courage to come and say, look, I made an error, and this is the extent of the error. They'll always want to know how much worse it could possibly be. There will be a lack of confidence in your ability to explain everything. They may call somebody else into the room and say, well, what do you know about this? And your response is always, these are the facts, and these are the things that I think we could do to sort it.
Hi, I'm Katie Miller. I'm President of the Law Institute of Victoria. My difficult situation was I've had a few occasions through my work life where I've been working with people who we just didn't get along well together. It didn't mean that we weren't nice people individually, but we just didn't click and things just weren't working well together. So in terms of how I addressed this situation, the first thing that I did was really try and step back and think about, well, why is this happening, and is there something that I'm doing that might be contributing to the situation? I mean, look, we all have our own styles, our own ways of doing things, and that can work really well with some people, but sometimes you might have a particular style or approach that just grates on people. And being able to just reflect on how you might be perceived by other people can be a good starting point. The second thing that I did was recall the very wise advice given to me by one of my supervisors that you don't have to be best friends with everyone that you work with, you just have to be professional. And so sometimes it's okay if you have a working relationship that might not be a best buddies relationship as long as it's professional and productive. It's really when you can't work together and achieve results that it starts to become a problem. And the third thing I did was I sought some independent views. I went and talked to some trusted people and said, look, the situation just isn't working. I've reflected on what I've done. What do you think? Does anything about this seem weird to you? Just to get that sanity check. And by doing all of those three things, I found some strategies to use with the various people that I'd been working with. And overall, we found a way through it.